was driving my grandmother home from Nebraska. I think we were traveling south of Highway 45. Everything was normal. We were just cruising along. There were no side roads and no gradual splits. Driving straight down Highway 45. All of a sudden, we found ourselves in this small little town. No exit, just a main street that led to the end of the town, which held a strange, large grey and black church, or town hall. There were very few cars, and the cars that were there were too old. One of them I remembered. It looked like a mix between 50s and 80s construction. The town itself was just so strange. The second we pulled into this little town, my grandma starts getting extremely uneasy. I knew something was up. The town was just wrong. What it looked like to me was an artist's rendition, like if you took an artist and sat them down, someone who has never seen what a small town in America looks like, and then explain it to them in great detail. Then the artist paints a picture of small town America. Everything about the place just seemed off, especially the fact that we never made any turns. One moment we were headed south down Highway 45. The next, the forest on either side of us thickens to the point where you couldn't see anything through it. Then it opened up, and we were slowing into the small little main street town. I didn't see any people. In hindsight, that's probably a good thing. The big building at the end of the street that looked like it was the most important building in town. Grey walls, black roof, with 4 towers. I was very apprehensive, because I knew something extremely strange was happening. Highway 45 doesn't just dead end into a town that's not on any maps. Like I said, there was no gradual turn-offs, and we did not make any turns. Getting back to the way it looked, it was like a dream. A very weird thing about this place is, it did not have any side roads, just a dead-end street, nowhere to turn around. At first glance, if you were just driving by, everything might appear to be normal, but you stop to look for a moment, and you see so many irregularities. Windows in wrong places, storefronts with no doors and no signs. There were no other streets turning in or out. It seriously looks like just a description of a small town. It was missing so many details. On the way into it, the woods just immensely thick. The trees were growing all the way up the highway. There was no shoulder. A tree could have taken any murder, just by getting close to the edge. Sorry, I know I mentioned the forest before. It was just so strange. With tension growing in the car, about halfway to the building at the end of the street, I've slowed the car down to a crawl. My grandma in the seat next to me was absolutely freaking out at this point. To her credit, she was doing it silently, just terrified and shaking, saying we need to leave. We need to leave. I guess I'm very lucky that I was there with her. If it had just been me in the car, curiosity would have absolutely gotten the better of me. It felt like we were in a place that we were not supposed to be. It felt like we were in a place that we weren't supposed to know about, that human eyes were not supposed to see. It was like this mask was put over whatever was really there, just in case any uninvited guests show up. All I would see was the strange small town. So thank you, Grandma. You probably saved my life, because I would have absolutely had to have explored that place. I did a 2-point turn. If you don't know what that is, it's when you pull close to the right side of the road. You put your car in reverse and turn your wheel all the way to the left. You hit the gas and your car spins around backwards. You hit the brakes right before you go off the road on the other side. Drop it in the drive, turn your wheel back to the right and hit the gas. 2 points. Reverse, then forward. We started driving back up the street we had come down, and I honestly didn't even know if this would work. I have no idea the nature of this place. I was half afraid that we would be stuck there, but soon the strange odd-looking buildings gave way to the thick forest. The forest that was almost touching the highway. After driving through this for a while, the trees started clearing out a bit. We drove until the highway went back to normal, with the trees far off the highway, and the forest not so unbelievably dense. I continued driving north until I saw a sign that said I was going north on Highway 45. I made a U-turn and started heading back down south, Highway 45. All the way through there were no turn-offs, there were no merge lanes, and there was no slight turns that I might have mistaken for the highway. Once driving south on Highway 45 again, nothing else weird happened, besides not seeing any turn-offs and never coming across any unnervingly dense woods. Grandma was shaking. She and I both knew something out of this world had just happened. I don't know what town we ended up in. I do know there's no such town in Mississippi. I checked. So this is one of my bigger glitch stories. I would absolutely love to know if anything like this has happened to anyone else out there. And once again, thank you, Grandma.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.